Yeah, when I was 10 years old, we had to leave our home in East Prussia because the Russian army was just a day away from my home, and there were some German military trucks. There were three of them, and they took people that wanted to leave. They took them with them because they were moving back too. They had no more ammunition or anything to fight anymore. So we went on that truck, and it was late in the evening, and my parents had a grocery store. My mother had still customers in the store when we left. And we went on that truck, and we could see the back of the sky was all red from fire from the Russians fighting. So we left that night, and we came to a town where we stopped and stayed overnight. And then next morning, the soldiers said that we can't go any further because they didn't have any wood to fire their trucks. Those trucks at that time, they used wood to make them run. So all the women there, they got together and chopped up wood, and so they took us. We drove another day, and we came to Pillau, that's a city that's right on the Baltic Sea. And we got there. We waited to get on the ship, and it took all day. We waited all day, and then finally in the evening there were two sisters. They came, and because I have a twin sister and a younger brother, so there was four of us, and the two sisters, two of them took my mother and brother, and two of them took my sister and me. But somehow we got on the ship before my mother and my brother, and we finally found them, and then they came onto the ship too, and we were on that ship for 1 week. It usually takes 1 day to go that stretch because there were so many mines in the Baltic Sea. There were lots and lots of big ships that went down with thousands and thousands of people. We stopped in the next town, Swinemünde that was, and we stayed there. They got us to a place because my dad had the post office too, and from the post office they got us a family where we stayed for 1 week. But through the whole time we either got to a town that was bombed or we left after it was bombed. So that makes me cry. So God, Heavenly Father, was with us all the time. And we got on another ship there that took us to Flensburg. That's just across the border from Denmark, and they told us when we get to Flensburg that we could leave the train. No, this was on the train. We got on the train there. When we could leave the train and go wherever we wanted to go. And we had in mind to go to Bavaria because that's where my dad came from, and he had a sister living there. But when we got to Flensburg, they said that nobody could leave the train, and the next stop was in Denmark. So when we got to Denmark, we got assigned to two different families. My sister and I to one family, my mother and brother to another family, and they were German background families too. But after about a month or so, we got together with one family, my whole family. And then at that time, the government gave them some allowance. I guess they gave them money for the people that they took in. And after a year, they didn't do that anymore. They stopped it. And after that, the second year, we were in like a I don't know what you call it, in a big group, you know, where lots and lots of people were. We all slept together. That was, I don't even remember what kind of building that was, but anyhow, we stayed there for another year until we finally had the opportunity to go back to Germany, but we had to prove that we had a place to live there in Germany before they let us go. So we went back to Germany, we went to Bavaria, and my father and mother, my dad was in the service too, but he was stationed close home. He came home every weekend to do the post office business there. And they made out that they would write each other, you know, to find out where we are, because we were not together when we left home. And we found out that he was in prison at that time, and he got out of prison, and that was in the American military prison, you know, because what he did, he just had to take care of, they had the German army, they had the Russian prisoners there, and they had to watch us Russian prisoners, and they walked, you know, all the way from East Russia to Mecklenburg there at that time with the prisoners, because the prisoners, they didn't want to stay back either. They were afraid of the Russians. So then we got to Kitzingen, that's in Bavaria. That's where my dad used to live. My dad's sister lived there, and we stayed with her. And like, you know, music is always big with me. I love good music. My dad and mom, they were very musical. My dad always played the violin, accordion. So,
were there any favorite songs you remember that he would sing to you?
Oh, he would, you know,
or play for you?
Anything. At that time, you know, I was young. I was only 10 years old, so there was all the children's music, you know.
Do you remember any special songs he would play?
Oh yeah, there's so many songs that he would play, you know, like Händchen klein, Gingerlein,
okay.
Die Welt hinein.
Oh.
And
in English, what does that say? Can you translate those words?
You know, it's hard to translate the songs or things like that. It's Händchen, that's the boy's name, Klein, little, walked alone in the world, something like that.
But it was kind of a fun, happy tone.
Oh yeah, they're all happy songs, yeah. Yeah.
And would those help you when he would sing in the middle of, when he would play those songs in the middle of everything?
Oh yeah.
It would help you and help you carry the burden some.
Right, right. Yeah, and then, you know, when my husband passed away, that's all but comforted me. German music.
Was German music.